Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to the Essex Business Forum. I'm Essex Business Forum. I'm your featured chairman. I realise I haven't got a list of people turning up, so that's come down to me. So I can do the 60-second round when it comes to it. However, that's all in the future. Where we are at the moment is that I'm ably assisted by my leadership team, who I'd now like to be upstanding. Please introduce yourselves to the meeting.
Good morning, I'm Jane Mannion, Membership Committee Chairperson.
Good morning, I'm Paul Bregan, I'm your social secretary.
Good morning, I'm Terry, I'm Membership and Recruitment.
And good morning, I'm Scott, your meeting secretary, keeper of stats, and some face budget.
So many hats, so many faces. Right, please be seated. And Terry will be standing in for Ben. He is otherwise engaged, or probably soon.
Terry Singh.
Blake here is the master of disguise. Came in with his hat the other way around. Didn't recognise him. However, he's here back in all his glory. Right, sorry, let's get on with the meeting. The first stage, as always, is the what is it? It says here performance league. Scott.
Well, yes, absolutely. Performance league. It's a closed meeting today, I guess, so we all know what this is, how it works, and how to do it. But just a reminder to make sure, please, everybody is recording whatever it is taking up during the week. They're referral opportunities, they're one-to-ones, they're synergies. Because if you don't, just put it on a piece of paper that's passed around the room. It doesn't go any further than this room, it gets recycled at the end. It has to go into the forms to make it count on here. And a reminder, as always, the numbers are a week behind. So if you put in a big thank you for the money and don't see it today, it's because the process this week's next week. So hopefully that makes sense. There you go. Numbers at the top. Just 1 week recorded for October. Third position. New member, Sally. Gentlemen, some socks to pull up. The new member can come in and be at the top of the league. Come on, what are you doing?
That's my honeymoon period, that's all.
Yeah. Second place, 85 points. Catherine Foley. Current leader, 90 points. St. Scotland. On last ball. Congratulations.
Right, thank you very much, Scott. The education presentation, actually, you needn't have sat down. Scott.
Yes. So, little short notice. So, my tech failed this morning. I was going to plug in my phone to the big screen and just walk through some. I was going to walk through the new websites and how we should be using it, and have a little talk about why we should be using it. I've been going on and on and on about some members that still haven't logged in what is basically a month since we've launched the new one. There are still some members who have not yet logged in. It's getting better. We've almost closed this down. But please, it's about contribution. The V forms are to show that you're contributing to the group, and clearly the lack of logging in demonstrates, well, that was coming out. You know where we are. But when we log in, there are about 5 options we can take. On the V forms part, we can first of all record our absence if we're not able to come to the meeting. So that's really important. If you can't make it, you still need to log in and let us know. That notifies all of the leadership team so that we can just make appropriate plans and sort the bill out and do all those things. So please make sure you do that if you are unable to attend. What else is in there is referrals, which is obviously the lifeblood and the reason we're all here. So do record your referrals accurately and properly. We, looking at my statistics, it's a quiet year for referrals. That's where I'm going on my statistics. So we should make every opportunity to try and make sure that we're looking for those and accurately recording them. I think it is a post-COVID thing where business perhaps is a little quieter, I don't know. But do make sure that we're capturing all of those referral opportunities. On the activity side, there are about 5 different things that we can record. Obviously, the main one is recording thank yous for the business that we've done. That's what most people go in and do. And it's really important that if you get paid for a piece of work that you've completed, that you record that activity, because not only do you score your performance league points, but the person who gave you that referral gets his little reward in performance league points too. So if you don't fill in that piece, you're letting down the other guys and you're impacting the score of how other people will be performing on that performance league and the whole contribution bit that we see on all of our stats. So please make every effort to do that. One-to-ones and what do we call it? Social meetups. We've added some value in there, so we want to know a little bit about what those one-to-ones are and what those social meetups are for. That's going in, and on the renewals that the membership committee are looking at, they're going to have that data to start looking at what's going on. There was a period where one-to-ones were just being recorded if I happened to pass someone in the high street and just nod my head. But we're making that work a little bit better, trying to just realise that people are having genuine meetings to learn more about each other and foster and build new referral opportunities. If you can't manage putting in a new referral each week, or you're not closing down new bits of business, book yourself in for a one-to-one with someone. Or at worst, go for a beer and call it a social. Score some points that way. If you still can't manage to contribute to the group on the V-forms, plant some trees. That's an option in there. It costs you 60 pence for a tree and put it in our virtual forest. Or share some of our posts on social media. There's only one member that actively records his performance hit points for sharing and promoting all of our other content in the EBF blog, and that's Terry. He records doing all that stuff that some of us already do. You can score points for it on the V-forms if you've ever checked that out. And it's that easy. Or worst case, invite a guest. There's a form on there, fill it in. Sometimes it works, not always, but just you plug in your details, your invitee's details, the form happens and it does the rest, and you score a load of points for doing so. So they're my main reasons for what you should be doing in the V-forms. Member offers is where I just want to finish off. We have about 5 or 6 member offers listed on the site now. Public can't see them, you have to be logged in to get access to them. Why aren't we all listing some nice little discounted promotional things for each other? It doesn't have to be a money off offer. A couple of bits I put on there myself are just instructional help for you guys. How do I do this? Or how can I use this free service? Or how can I get the best out of whatever? So it really is just an invite, please. If you've got something that you can add as an offer or as a guide or some useful information, please just provide it to me, and we'll make that a much more useful resource on the site. But I'm going to be quiet. Shut up, sit down, and we'll get on.
I logged on yesterday and just had a look round, particularly looked at the new format for the blog. But frankly, go on and have a look, because it really is good. It really looks nice. It really looks positive, and I think we've got Scott to thank for that. And so, really excellent job. Yeah. Let's move on. Membership matters. Terry.
Thanks, Aidan. Yeah, it's always good, but I always like it. Even for not new members, it's nice to deal with renewals. And we've got 3 that we're dealing with. Thank you, Jane. It's in hand. 2 are in hand and 1's been approved. And I'm delighted to say that Joshua's membership has been renewed. You're now eligible to apply for the Mark of Excellence. I think you should do so. More now next week.
Thanks, Terry. Right. We are now in a situation where we're approaching the first major part of the meeting, which is our 60-second round. Your chance to highlight your business, but only in 60 seconds. Paul is our bellman, yeah, and he'll do that after 50 seconds. And after 60 seconds, he'll do. That is when you wrap up and sit down if you haven't done so already. I see that Catherine has got the Oscar from last week.
Yes,
Shining and polished. And she will be handing this over to some person today, and she'll be listing our part for it. So I think with that we can get on with the meeting with the round itself. And Catherine will be first, and then she'll be followed by Paul Corrigan. So, yeah.
Morning everyone, Catherine Foley from English Tutors, thank you so much. So after a very, very quiet summer, I am now very busy. So I've got 14 students at present and some writing jobs on the horizon. I had some really lovely feedback from a new student this week. His mum said he came out really happy. I've never seen him finish English work that happy, which is absolutely just what I want to see. So what I'm looking for are A-level students who want to find that happiness that comes from developing the confidence to know how to answer any question that comes their way. So if you know anyone, parents, teachers, anyone who works with children studying the A-levels, please put them in touch, because that would just be perfect. If I've got 14 students, only one of them is A-level at the moment, and that's the bit I really want to do. So I'm desperate for some A-level clients, please. Thank you very much.
I bet if you did mathematics, you wouldn't get the same choice response. But still, there we go.
No, that's not like anyone.
Thank you, Catherine. Paul Corrigan is next. He's followed by Clara.
Morning all, Paul from Solitaire Plumbing Heating. This morning I want to talk about boilers. I love boilers, I'll tell you. I love what they do for us, I love what they do for our customers. Wonderful things. Yesterday I pretty much spent the whole day updating all our prices. They're about 4 years out of date on our website. So now you can log on to our website. There's a free quoting tool. You can enter a few questions in and the system will give you a pretty much good estimate for the install. If your boiler is 10, 15 years old and you just think about replacing it, you can just literally just get a quote on our website. There's no obligation to buy it. We won't contact you unless you actually particularly want to be contacted. It don't cost us anything, it don't cost you anything. If you or friends or family are thinking about it, saying, oh, this is struggling, please just go on our website, you'll get a free quote. Thank you for listening.
Paul. Clara, you're followed by Joshua.
Oh, down to mortgages and financial services. I love mortgages.
Sorry.
Not quite the same, but yeah, it's been really busy this week. It's a really strange market at the moment, I think. I've had some people actually offering on places and buying places, but the feedback I seem to be getting is that it is a very sort of stagnant market and things are sitting out there for a long time or literally flying off the shelf kind of thing, depending on where they are in that pricing. So I think it's a really sort of a tough place for people to be when they're trying to buy at the moment. So short answer is, do put people in touch with me. I can try and work out what options are. I had a phone call from somebody yesterday and she wanted me to see if I could find something for her, and she does not fit with any of the boxes, but there is still 3 possibilities that we're looking at out there, out of the, I think it's 72 lenders that I can access. So I don't give up easily, and hopefully we can find the right mortgage for everybody. So if you know anyone that needs some help, Clara down to mortgages and financial services.
Thank you, Clara. Joshua, you are followed by Matt.
Right, good morning all, Joshua from the DNP Studio. And this morning I want to talk to you about loft conversions. One of the reasons why I want to talk to you about that is when it comes to extending your property, they can often be one of the more cost effective because you're not having to put money into the ground. Often a lot of money is lost actually in foundations for an extension. If it's for your property or it's a friend's property, ideally you want around 2.8 metres in the loft existing, because you tend to lose half a metre in putting in floor joists and also adding in a ceiling for some form of sort of dormer extension. So if you know anyone who's trying to sell their home and actually would like to increase the value, another great tip is to maybe just get the planning in place. And then that's something that you can add on with the sale of the property, or if you're just looking to find new space. So that's Joshua from JDC Studio. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Matt is followed by Toby.
Good morning, everyone. Matt Barry from Blue Serif. We've been working with a client that we've been working with for probably about 2 years, who are a private health company. They have a number of locations in central London, but they've just been acquired by an Irish health company who have now just signed a deal with Ulster Rugby to rename their stadium. So I am getting so close to my pinnacle of getting into a rugby team and doing lots of work. So I keep on dreaming. I keep on playing that field to make sure that I can get to there. But if you happen to know any rugby stadiums or sports teams that need look at their branding, need help with any of their creative marketing, please do get in touch with me. Thank you.
Does all this also have to involve drinking Guinness?
Of course.
You'd be rude not to.
Thanks, Matt. Toby, you're next, and you're followed by Sally.
Morning, everybody. So I was in Nottingham on Monday. I've been asked to speak at a business expo up there. I've been told there's been 300 people in the room. I was the last keynote speaker. I was really looking forward to it. It was the most horrendous speaking experience of my life. Great big one of these hotel rooms. All the exhibitors around there. Small stage in the middle with about 50 seats laid out. Absolute cacophony of noise with all the exhibitors talking to people. Absolute disaster. The tech wasn't working, the PowerPoint clicker wasn't working, you had to be about that far away from the laptop. I had to wear a headset so I could just hear my voice bouncing back the whole time. Absolute disaster, and hardly anybody sitting in the chairs. So I drove home thinking what a complete waste of the day. Got home, there was a LinkedIn connection from somebody saying that he really liked what I was talking about. Could we have a chat? Set up a Zoom call with him, had that call yesterday, booked in for a session. I've noticed this morning the invoice has been paid, so you never know who's out there listening and how it's going to resonate with people. So not a complete waste of time.
Okay, thank you very much, Toby. Sally, you're followed by John Hammond.
Morning, study waters from renowned home fragrances. Quick chat today about white labelling. That's another service that we provide. This is for organisations and companies that are looking to promote their own brand awareness. So this is something that I do from both ends of the spectrum. So this is one that I've worked with. This is the Princess Alexandra Breast Unit in Epping. These are candles that we make for them to raise money. So they sell these at their events. With us, you can choose your own vessel, your own fragrance, your own packaging, and then we create whatever it is that you're looking for. So that's one end of the spectrum. Right through to this one, which is a high-performance renovation restoration company in Stalford for lovely, very expensive cars. And this is a vessel that's been sprayed in their own rail colour, so this is their corporate colour. This is screen printed onto the vessel. This was all done by us. It's also packaged in a lovely box with their own ribbon. So just to let you know, if you know anyone who's looking to increase their brand awareness or to promote themselves and raise money, I'm your lady.
Thank you. Sally. John, you're followed by Blake.
Good morning, everybody. This week we've been installing access control system. We use these type of leaders. You've probably seen them all on the films. They might all look the same, but it all depends how they're installed. Now we're installing this at a finance company that just wants to know who's actually going into the rooms to the FSA from inside the trade. But the same reader we actually use on high security places, and just by a little bit of coding on the front of it, we can actually change it from a really low secure one you could break in, like you see on film, to a really high secure one that you've got absolutely no chance of. So just because it's in the same reader, it does depend how it's been installed. So if you want it done right, it's a shout. That's John Hammond from Germex Technology. Fine Technology is a key.
Thanks, John. Blake.
Followed by.
Blake, yeah. Better be generous.
Morning, everyone. It's Blake from Mount. Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, Christmas. If you could recommend everyone to come and buy some from our so I can actually sleep, I'd be very much, very happy. Smokes, anything that goes bang. If you feel like shooting people, well done. Yeah, thank you.
Probably said it was the most effective 60 seconds you've ever. Thanks for that, Blake. James, you're followed by Stuart.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm going to follow the end of here, but James from Brand Insurance. And this week I spent in the company of various different cyber insurance underwriters. And that is about the shittest flex you're going to hear this week. I mentioned cyber last week with Becca Stewart, and I had a training session of some sort yesterday. He was just giving us some information. And you appreciate that actually it really is something that people should look at, regardless of the size of their company. The average claim with this particular company is about 50k, so it's not the Jaguar Land Rover, it's not the Marks and Spencer, it's not the Co-op. Hundreds of millions of pounds, 6 months later to produce cars. It is affecting everybody and anybody. And I'm not going to say it's about those three companies, but the rumour on the street is those three companies all have very, very different setups on their cyber. One of them, very good, sorted out very quickly. One of them had a policy that was absolutely waste of paper. Guy got sacked for doing it. One of them didn't have any cover, so when it all hit the fan, they'd been not producing their goods for a long time. So I've run out of 60 seconds, so I'll carry on next week.
James, Stuart, you're followed by Leanne.
Morning, Stuart from LG Networks, cloud service provider. I wasn't going to talk about that, but we can help prevent that happening in the first place. But what I did want to talk about was business internet provision. Speed is one thing, right? Speed gets all the headlines, okay? You see it on the telly, you get, the gigabit, 1,000, oh, it's so fast. Speed is irrelevant if that signal is dropping all the time, okay? Far more important than speed actually is stability, okay? You're much better to actually have a slightly slower service with a more stable provision, okay? And that's what we provide. We provide that by lowering the contention ratios, which is the number of people you're sharing your service with, even down to having a one-to-one contention ratio, which means you are having a private, dedicated service. You're not sharing with anybody. Okay, so some of these super fast, super cheap services, you might be sharing with 2 or even 500 people sometimes. Okay, our services are a lower contention ratio, which means you get a a more stable connection, which is actually far more important than speed. If you know any businesses that struggle with the internet, put in touch with me, Stuart at LG Networks. Thank you.
Stuart, Leanne, you're followed by Terry.
Good morning, everyone. You know who I am. But do you find colours, finishes, layouts, furniture? This is where lots of people become overwhelmed. I find it easy. Bringing it all together seamlessly. Maybe I can bring it all together seamlessly. Maybe you know what you like, but you can't put it all together. That's where I come in. Do you hate shopping for your home? That's what I can do. Does your home look like a store display or a catalogue page? It shouldn't. No one likes matchy-matchy. But if you thought it looked good there and you bought it for your home and now it doesn't work, that's where I come in. I design spaces that are personal and cohesive and effortless. So if you or someone you know, family, friends, clients, is in need of some help with a renovation, and that could be just decorating, it doesn't have to be a big renovation, but if you do, I'm a fantastic architect. But I just want you to know that the referral from you is worth so much to me. So if you could consider me, I would be very grateful. That's Leanne with Brooklyn Interior.
Thank you, Leanne. Terry, you're followed by Rebel.
Thanks, Aidan. Good morning, everybody. Terry Mailing from CM Law. In new client this week, small business, small to medium size, they owed some money. They sent me a list of invoices, about 10 invoices, and a few grand, and I added them up. Because they've been owed for over a year, not sure why, when I added up the interest and compensation, they were absolutely amazed how much it was. 12% at the minute, Howard, not bad. Interest on the debt, I'm not suggesting that you get into debt here. But they were really surprised about the compensation, which is for each invoice owed, and interest at 12%. It added up to a lot more. We've now done the letter of claim, and if they don't pay them, we're going to go to the DEFCON 3 stage. So if you know any businesses that are owed money, firstly, they shouldn't be owed money, they shouldn't be leaving it. Secondly, put them in touch with me, and I'll make sure not only do they get their money back, but they get compensation and interest. Terry Mowling, TM Law.
Thanks, Terry. Paul, you're followed by
Good morning, everyone. Paul DeLue, Essex Sellers. Rudyard Kipling once said that words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. And I see that truth every day in the work I do as a celebrant. Recently, I wrote a wedding ceremony for a couple whose story I've spent time learning. How they met, what makes them laugh, what keeps them strong. When I sent the script over to the bride, she called me, she was sobbing. For a moment, I thought I'd really balls things up. But when she said it's perfect, it captured us completely. That's the power of words. They can move people, connect us, and help turn life's biggest moments into memories that last a lifetime. I'm Paul Blue from Essex Celebrants, helping people celebrate love, loss, and new beginnings with words that truly matter.
Thanks, Paul. Mike, you're followed by Scott.
Right, I'm doing my 2 minutes and not the doses. I'll stop. Morning, Mike from Brentwood. For a lot of businesses, they're building all their premises as one of their biggest investments. But it's also a great way of showing your high standards to your clients. It says a lot about who you are as a company, that you're bright, that you're professional, and that you're proud of what you do and how you appear. And professional photos and video really shine in this sector. It just makes a huge difference. Whether it's an architect like Joshua showing off a finished project, a developer promoting a site, or a business moving into a new premises, professional visuals within that space just tend to be something that you can really use towards your marketing and take advantage of. Done well, they don't just show a building, they show your credibility, your attention to detail, and just your confidence in your own brand. So if you know any of those sort of people, architects, developers, construction firms, or companies who have just finished a project or are moving into a new firm office, I'd love an introduction and just make them look great where they're set up. That's Mike from Blackpool's Media. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Scott, you're followed by Dave Roberts.
Also, the power of words. I'm going to jump on that and talk about the power of words for your website. Last week or two, I've spent a little bit of time looking at 3 or 4 different websites that I'm going to get involved with and start working out. The power of words to the point where if we're describing the products and services these companies provide, they probably need more than 10, 15 words or one short paragraph describing each of those services. They need dedicated pages and lots and lots of content. They need not just to stick a few words on a page, but actually promote and explain to Google what that service is, what that page is all about. And more than just the Google part, we also need to be enabling a really concise and planned description of the company services and the company information so that the AI bots can come in and understand it and push that company forwards as a leader in that market. So if you want to make the words work for your website, give us a shout. So, listen, thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Dave, you're next and you're followed by Howard.
Morning everybody, Dave from Brentwood Electrical, the registered electricians based in Brentwood. This week we've been carrying out loads of different types of jobs. So we've done a landlord inspection on change of tenancy, just to run through things, make sure the existing tenants have not broken anything in there. We've carried out some emergency lighting repairs against a residential block. We've also carried out an inspection for someone who's moved in the house, so we just wanted to make sure that the place they're buying is safe before they move in. Today we're doing 3-phase sockets for a warehouse project. What I'm really after though is connections to builders. So there's a builder in Brentwood called SJP Builders. If anybody knows anybody who works there or owners or whatever, please try and put me in touch. Thank you very much.
We do. Howard, you're followed by Jason.
Good morning, everyone. Howard Good from Clear Financial Advice. We're independent financial advisors in Ramsey and Billericay. Life cover or life assurance can be used to protect all different types of scenarios. We're doing one that's a little bit weird, where a lady owns a company, she's in her 60s, and she's going to give that company to a trust for the sake of her kids. The company's worth about £4 million. And you have to pay some inheritance tax up front because of the nature of what we're doing. So they're going to pay about £6 million up front in inheritance tax freeze. And then there's a remaining potential £6 million liability should she die within the next 7 years. So we're going to put some life cover in place to protect that liability, that potential liability. Now, there's only one life insurance company that makes a product of that nature. It's really expensive. So we're going to build our own one. It'll be about 5 policies we put bolt together. Those policies we put into a trust. Otherwise, that money will pay out and form part of her estate, just making the profit worse. But it goes into the trust. Should she die, the trustees just get the money out of the life company and pay the tax amount. Everyone's happy. So sometimes we need to be a little bit creative, but a lot of these things can be achieved just by putting a bit of effort in and maybe building something yourself.
Howard, Jane, you're followed by me, and I'm followed by Paul. Jane.
Thank you. I tell you, beware of imposters, because they're out there. So this week we were lucky enough, Roger and I, to go to the Savoy. And in one of the areas of the Savoy Hotel, they have a scullery, apparently. She said it was the only one in the world. I know she did know. And it was called Scoff, and they sell scones or scones. And they are exactly looking like one that's been dipped into chocolate. And then it's got a whirly cream and a topping on the top. You can get matcha and pina colada and so on. So for £8.50, we bought one of their scones, as she said, and brought it home. Cut it open. It was sponge cake. Was shaped like it. Yes, I'm glad to hear that. A bit more of that. Ooh. Masquerading as a scone. I tell you, we won't have it. So beware of imposters. Ours are the real thing, and you can trust us on that. The very hand has made them. Roger stamps them out. The real McCoy. I rest my case.
Pull it back up there. True on the face.
I call this the only scullery in the world. Oh, my lawyer will be on.
Yeah, clear misdescription, Jane. Yeah. Right. I love the Employment Rights Bill. The reason I like it or love it because it's going to take an awful long time to go through Parliament. 2026 probably. So are employers going to put their lives on hold whilst we wait for this bill to work its way through Parliament? And the answer should be no. They ought to see me. I've got a client that I'm guiding through, looking at the situation. He's wanting to convert most of his staff to self-employed. And I was looking over contracts with him and advising him. And although it's not perfect, and although it might blow up in his face, he's going to have to go. He knows what the risks are. He's taken my advice. Find employers who need to move forward, need to review how they structure their staff, and refer them to me. I say this one, Team Law. And next, and following me, is Paul.
Good morning, Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Had a referral from an ex-member, Gary Humphrey, if you remember him. He's got a friend who's a plumber based in Bristol, and he hasn't completed the last 4 years tax return, so it's about £4,500 worth of penalty charges, plus interest, plus tax, etc. So I've got plans to go forward. Within 2 weeks, we'll prepare those accounts and tax returns, submit them, obviously let them know what the tax position is and liaise with him, and then hopefully appeal against the penalty charges, and we normally get a good result on penalty charge appeals. So that's the sort of thing we do. You know, people stick their head in the sand and don't do anything, the problem only gets worse. That's Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Minimise tax, maximise work.
Right, that's the end of the 62nd round.
Well, obviously, it's going to go to Blake now. Sorry. So many. Well, I'm tempted to go for Toby because I thought it was really sad for everyone to speaking experience, but it all ended up happening, so that was great. Stuart, I like the idea that speed isn't everything. Works with me. That's rude. Paul, I might have told you words to most painful drunk, but basically you're making me cry, and that's not such a good thing.
With joy, with joy.
Sorry, with joy. Oh, okay. It's still rude to make up.
2 words.
And Jane has said yes, so that's really important. But I am going to go, and for slightly personal reasons as well, but also because I know when Sally joined a few weeks ago, she actually hated doing 60 seconds and was really nervous, and I thought 60 seconds was pretty good, and also because your product is supporting breast cancer, which you know I'm quite attached to that charity, and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it seems very absolutely.
Thank you, Catherine. Well done, Sally. Right, so what comes after the 62nd round? Meeting secretaries reports.
Right, well, I said lots this morning, so I'm going to keep this one short and easy. A dozen new referral opportunities shared, which is good. And my quick dividend of arithmetic is about £9,000 worth of business recorded. So hopefully that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Scott. We had a synergy team meeting this week. Paul?
Yeah, it was. The synergy team meeting on Tuesday, Professions in Finance. There were just over 4 of us that attended. Just over 4? Yeah, because actually, so 4 members and someone's foot. No, so there was 4 of us turned up. A visitor came along, which was great. But they didn't realise any of us were there and left. So, and they do.
I see which point.
Yes, well, but it was a very good meeting actually. It was a second session on AI. So, cool discussion. I think we all learned something a bit more about it, gave us some ideas, and yeah, I'll send the next meeting. Next month will be the last formal meeting of the year for our synergy team meeting. And I'll send out more invite.
Thank you very much, Paul. Right. We now move it on to the next major part of the meeting, which is the 10-minute presentation. Derek standing in for Ben. Do the introduction.
Yeah, thanks, Aidan. Just a quick word on the forthcoming 10 minutes ahead slots. I've no idea who they are, but if you can look on your look on Ben's emails, I'm sure it all becomes clear, crystal clear. So today's speaker, Mike Skinner, his business name Brentwood Media, and he's the owner. Nature's businesses, video, photography, and drone content for businesses and events. And the business areas covered are really anywhere that covers travel costs. And I mean literally, we were in Barcelona last week, mate, for a day. So literally anywhere that covers its costs. Some of the things he's written down, some of it winds him up or winds him up. Is it winds up or winds up, Mike? Windy days in the nature sense rather than physiological sense. Windy days make me tense, and I'm still talking about the atmospheric type. A movie I recommend and why? The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's just close enough to perfect. With £1 million cash, I would speak to Clara, Howard, Leanne, and Paul. But I haven't figured out in which order yet. Yes, depending on the order, depends whether he speaks to the rest.
Yeah, true.
Paul
Probably
Blue.
last, I imagine.
Paul Blue.
Yeah.
And then lastly, a sentence on my headstone. It will probably end up having an Amazon or McDonald's advertising screen built in by then. Mike Skinner.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Mike Skinner from Brentwood Media, doing photo video development businesses and events, as you all know. So the first thing I was going to say is, a lot of my work is video work, but all my presentations are always photo-based. And there's 2 good reasons for that. One, all the video editing gear that I've got is on this great big old desktop at home, and I'm not going to bring it in and put it here, it's a pain in the arse. And the other reason is the video camera's over there working with me, so it kind of makes it hard for me to use for demos. So today, what we're going to do is a headshot setup and look at different lighting patterns, different backgrounds and things like that. Couldn't get Michaela back to model again, so we've upgraded to Jane. There we go. So, I'll just run through the basic process. Get the model in and say, alright, sit down, we're going to take a photo already. If I bring it up on the screen there, turn the light on here. There you go, it's nice and bold. Brilliant, done, next. So, you don't have to worry too much about it, steady, so just take a photo and you're done. Now, what we're going to look at is, first of all, just back that off. See if we can do it. These aren't actually fantastic lights for this, they're quite small, so it's just going to be a demo. But, we're going to do a little bit of posing with you, Jane. It's very square onto the camera. Would you mind just turning your chair about 45 degrees to whichever side you're more comfortable? Fantastic. And then just looking straight into the camera lens, sit up nice and straight, posture, and a big cheery smile. There you go. And immediately, just between, just change people and relaxing them a little bit. You get results coming through. Yeah. So the light I've got going on here is a dead simple, straight in front. What I'd normally not use is a bigger light here with a big softbox on it to soften it a bit. Because of the time and space, we've just got this little one, so it's a little bit harsh now. But this is just flat front lighting. And just get this one out of the way. We do actually use it quite a lot. It's dead easy to set up. Doesn't take up much space, and be quick on time and things like that. But to demonstrate how much difference lighting makes, I'm just going to really slightly question and check this. That did, lovely. If I move this light around to the side now, Right. You keep looking straight to the camera. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not quite from here, and I was hoping it was going to be. That's the way it is, isn't it? Turn that down a little bit. You get this really strong side lighting, so you just press slightly towards your this way. To the right camera, good space. That's fine, perfect. Yeah. So you've got almost a straight line down the face. I can tell it's more of a dark, it's like that. It's a really sort of, what's the word, contrasty, bold look. It's not something you're going to use that much for sort of corporate photos and things like that on websites. But you do see it on movie posters, band things, stuff like that. Anything that you're trying to get that really punchy look, even some sort of fashion shoots, that sort of thing. So what I normally do instead is work somewhere slightly in the middle. You can bring the camera around to about 45 degrees, try the light round, lift it up really high. Hope it doesn't fall on Jane. And this is imitating a little bit sunlight more, because most natural lighting comes from above. You're used to seeing people lit from above rather than from straight on the face level. And we'll move this around, I don't know how we can see that on the screen, but what we're looking for here is, again, that side lighting with a bit of shadow coming from the nose and face, and we've still got the contrast in the face, but we want a little bit of light catching on this opposite cheek as well. And that's actually called Rembrandt lighting. And obviously from the Dutch painter, it's the style that he used to paint faces in quite a lot, and they actually thought quite a lot about lighting in the old paintings and things like that. So you still get a really strong, bold, slightly contrasty look, but it's not as harsh as fully onto the side, and not as flat as straight in front. Something else we'd look at then, well, I should say, this lighting is generally used for men more than women, because it gives that sort of manly, grizzly, yeah, exactly, tough, powerful look. It can be a little bit harsh for women's faces who tend to like a sort of flatter, sort of softer light who wants a bit more flattery. So, and I realise I'm talking at Toby speed here, firing through this, but I did rehearsal yesterday and it came to about 13 minutes, so I'm sorry about it. We'll then bring in another light from this side, turn right down low, and if you can see, there's the difference there. You've got the lighting from that side, just by flicking that on, it's just sort of balancing it all out. You've still got a little bit of shadow coming from the other side. I'll probably move that back a bit further around more space or something more. But you're still getting the interesting sort of Rembrandt lighting, but you're just filling in some of the gaps on the other side to even it all out a bit, make it a little bit more flattering where that is. If you've only got one light on the go, something else you can do with this is get a bounce. And all we're doing here, is their face, if I bring that, the mic's on the screen now, you can actually change how much light is hitting the other side of the face just by bouncing it to the colour. And then, can I just get you to hold that in your lap? Like that. You do it sometimes underneath, and it will light up under the chin, under the eyebrows, under the nose, and get rid of any harsh shadows that come on the face like that. Just use a bit of white card. It works really well outside as well if you've got something like it. Thank you very much. Okay. Another little trick that you do like sometimes, especially works well on dark backgrounds like this. You can move it around behind someone. Pop it down. And if you keep an eye on the screen again, I'll turn this on. Which has gone off. There we go. You only get a certain amount of time with these cameras, then they'll time out. There we go. Right, we call this a hair light, or a halo light behind. And what it's doing, it's just giving that glow around her shoulders, and making it sort of pop out from the background, separate it. And it just gives that sort of slightly professional touch again, because it's not something you can get with standard phone posters and things like that. People might not know what it is, but they'll see it and think, oh, that looks crisp, sharp, clean, and it will make a big difference. It's been a wonderful job, Jane, thank you very much. The next thing we're going to look at is different backgrounds. Black is really good for sort of, or some of the terminology I wrote down for myself yesterday. Dramatic sort of shots, elegant shots. It might be used a bit more in modelling and things like that. But it's not that common for websites and photos, because generally people don't have black websites or really dark colours. They tend to be a bit lighter or very low. If I flick this over, what we're going to do now is turn this light round. And this is why sometimes on photo shoots you can see they've got about 50 lights going on, because they're all doing different things, like in different parts of the face, different parts of the room. And again, in a real setup, we'd have a big light doing this slightly more equally, but just working on the centre part there. And by adjusting the camera again slightly, bringing the light levels up, we're trying to get a really whited out background, really crisp lines around the outside of that. And this is much more what you're going to get on your sort of your LinkedIn profiles, your websites, things like that, because it just blends in much better with most of the users. And also having a clean white background like that with really crisp hairline and things, it makes it very easy to cut the person out in Photoshop, put them onto different backgrounds, use them for branding and marketing tools, sort of thing. And you still got all the options with this that you can move the light around, light things in different ways. And then the final one I'm going to show you. Oh, no, for a second, real quick. Yeah, just I did that. I'm just going to get this other one. Yeah, let's go to the corner. Right. Yeah. And then, yeah, good. I'll get you trying to inside the last second. Yeah. Thank you very much. Having a backdrop like that is really good if you are putting things on websites and such. But if you're looking for a more natural setting, what we can then do is blur the backgrounds on photos like this one. And then you get that posed photo with an office look behind it. You can set them wherever they work in woodlands and factories there. And we use this a lot in video as well, because when you've got someone sitting in a chair doing a talking head, you want things going on behind them. You want a bit of movement or a bit of lighting and things like that. But what you don't want is, I've got enough light in this, if I crank that up a lot. Yeah, not really. What I don't want if I focus over there is a really crisp background that is distracting. I don't really looking at the crisps in the background. I just want some shapes and colours there to give an idea of the setting that they'll be working in, but the focus on the main person. So yeah, that's a very quick insight into how we might set up a photo shoot. The main thing is, what I do when I speak to companies, thank you very much. Yeah, so when I go and speak to companies and things like that, I want to get an idea of what their company's like, what they're aiming for. Are they a very serious corporate company that wants, set up shots like that? Are they having a bit of fun? Do we want the whole team together? Do we want it outside? What's the vibe? What are they marketing towards? What sort of audience are they appealing to? And then we take all that into account. We also speak to people like Matt about what their branding is like, what their colours are. Do we want that matched in any way? And we put up shoots like that and just get a really good feeling of what the company are like, and therefore a better idea of what the photos reflect when people see them. And yeah, that's how we go about it. Mike from Blackwood's Media. Any questions? Excellent. Scott.
Mike, one of the challenges that businesses have when they're investing in that photography review is change of personnel.
Yes.
Have you got strategies or ideas around if I get a load of group shots of all my employees stood next to their vehicles or doing whatever, and then that one only leaves?
We generally do a pretty good job of matching things in place. It depends what I'm doing, obviously. Did some shots for you for the Brentwood orthodontists recently. Load of shots last year, they've got a load of people in this year, so we just went in and went, this is what last year's shots looked like, let's try and get something really similar backgrounds and that sort of thing. But yeah, even if you're doing outdoor shots, I love it's nice that you can get matching weather and matching situations, but you can still manipulate the photos and lighten a little bit to get it so it all looks within reason, like similar shoots, that's what you're aiming for. And I get requests from people as well saying we had a shot done by a different company 2 or 3 years ago, looks great, can you do exactly the same video shoot or whatever, we want it to look like that. And we go and we set it on the screen and go, right, that plant was there, that was there, match it. Yeah. Sorry, Josh, yeah.
How often would you tend to recommend someone change their headshot?
I think annually is quite nice. One of the things I mentioned the other day that the company was talking to us about is they wanted a selection of headshots of all their staff, but 2 or 3 different ones, even with the same staff members, because they rotate them on the website. And like every 6 months or so, they change all the photos around just because it's really good for the SEO, because suddenly they've got new images and new things up there. So it's actually handy to have 2 or 3 different alternatives anyway. It's not just me upselling, it's also upselling for Scott. But yeah, I think, well, it depends how big the company is, how often they're changing. If you're turning over staff yearly, I think keeps you fairly up to date.
If there was one camera or one piece of kit that you'd like to buy, regardless of the cost, what would you get?
I've got a little bit of a tech crush on the Hasselblad cameras at the moment, and for no real reason other than they're ridiculously pretty and cost about £6,000 each. I can't see any personal reason why I'd need it or it'd improve my work or anything like that, but it's great. We'll have to take it anyway because we want to learn to get next. Yep.
On the Ultimate Fighter show, when they do their close-up interviews with the advisors. It looks brilliant because they've got a black background and they've got in their eyes they've got about a dozen lights.
Yes, yeah.
Is that just literally a dozen lights behind them, or is there some effect that they use that?
No, it's called catch lights basically, and it's kind of a lot of it is just the reflection of what you get. So it always looks better when you've got a little white dot in the eye, and you usually just do it from having a big sort of light or something like that. Yeah, you can manipulate it a bit, set various different bits up and shapes and things. Or alternatively, like the ring lights today is as well, because you see that quite often. You actually see a little ring reflection, and it's when they've got the ring lights around the lens of the camera. Yeah. But it makes your eyes jump out loads more having the light in front of them for some reason, rather than having a black eye. But black eye with that little white dot.
Mike, thank you very much indeed. And not only thank you to you, and a great insight into how it works. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But well done, Jane.
Absolutely.
It was very brave of you to do it. But my only question mark is, why didn't you use Paul?
Who's Paul?
He's wearing that. He's the regular staff. But
I thought you meant that one. I was like, the camera doesn't go like
that. But I think we're all.
Your phone did go off.
I think we're all pleased that you did use Jane. Well done, Jane. Thank you very much. Right, whilst you're on your feet, let's move the referrals for testimonials round. Let's, as usual, start with Paul and work our way round. Paul.
Yeah, couldn't get through with all agents. Yes, good meeting. Thank you for that instance. Always fascinating to the life and how it affects things. And I obviously attended the Synergy team meeting. Good meeting.
That's great, Mike. Thank you very much. That's for Clara Joanne Darpin. Sorry for you last week.
Yes, perfect, thank you.
I was in the middle names when you said that. Carl Randall.
Thank you. That was it took me back to my talk ago, time ago, but for the principles are still the same. A referral for Paul. Progress was done. Your uncle came round on Tuesday. Excellent job done. Thank you. So we're moving on to the other stage, then we'll pull you back for the sort of refit from that's done. Thank you to Howard for the thing from Craig for the testing doing stuff up and thank you very much.
Excellent meeting. Excellent reminder from Scott on the side of things. Great presentation. Obviously, like we've worked on quite a few projects, and I was going to mention about Brentwood also. It's not just your skill sets and your knowledge, and but it's actually your mannerisms and the way that you handle the subject matter and the people. You put them at ease. And I think that's almost the most important thing.
An awful lot of the job is dealing with people that go, I hate having my photo taken.
Yeah. And your vision of knowing how to get extra out of the shoot all of the time. You're not just you're always looking for other opportunities. It's brilliant. So I really, really enjoy working with you. I've got just a thank you to the Money to an ex-member, and I'm very much looking forward to a social Dicky Bow black tie event tomorrow. With various members.
Yeah, great. 10 minutes. Really interesting thing was the impact of the lighting on the shops, and yeah, IT have been a recipient of your great skills on the work that I've done. I've got a referral for David Robert. And we've already spoke about that, and a referral for Paul Corrigan. See you all next week, and some of you tonight at the quiz night.
Yeah, good to see you again. Yeah, it's 10 minutes again. You love your job. It's nice to see. Kind of. Thank you, Lonnie, for Terry. I'll leave this here because obviously you're busy. And very professional one-to-one with Paul on Friday night. Not that you can remember any of it. I've seen it all.
Very interested in 10% line. And you might Scott about the website. At one-to-one with Scott, which I think highlights some of the stuff he was talking about.
I wasn't naming anybody, but you will be improved.
I've got a referral for John Foster is not here, so. Thank you.
About 10 minutes, Mike. We've worked together a few times, and I can echo what Matt says. And Mike is just calmness personified. There's up against time and all sorts of things, and clients' phones going and whatever, and he just stays calm and keeps hold of it. He's absolutely
Unlike we're doing 10 minutes.
Sorry?
I said unlike we're doing 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, absolutely enjoyed to work with him. And on the back of that, actually, I've got a possible referral for you. I'm just waiting for an email back on it. It's a photo shoot for a company website. People exactly what you're doing there. So I've got a referral for Blake, branded mugs that we were wrong one. So my bad.
That's right one.
White one. Yeah, white one.
These newbies.
Had a one-to-one with Sarah Smith, she's not here. And just to echo really on Scott's Edstore, if you look at companies' websites out there and then you compare with the EDF website, the EDF website is outstanding. There's a lot of crap websites, and we should be very, very proud of that. We should actually use it to its full potential, so share it, share it with people. It's incredible. Thank you.
Yeah, great meeting. Great to meet Mike. I think we need some photos of me and Scott, so then we're using AI in the future.
That was not going on the website.
Yeah, it's going on the front page of the website. Greatest referral Scott, and see you next week.
Oh, we haven't.
I've worked with Mike, it's absolutely brilliant. The work projects that have been done in the past, absolutely top notch results. Clients love him, so that's terrific. Thank you. Add one-to-one for Dave. Potential, he's a referral I'm going to forwards for a battery storage solution. Brilliant idea to learn about that for home. And thoroughly enjoyed a social event today on Sunday with Toby at Brands Hatch. Really good fun.
Yeah, well done, Mike. Came to our office, did some stuff for me and Aidan, made us look reasonably young, and did some videos. Excellent, really good experience. We've got a bunch of videos out that we can use on the website that are professional and just what you showed us. So thanks for that, and made me and Aidan very calm. And Scott, what Paul said, he's worked really hard on the UBF website. Use it, promote it. It's part of what we do here. So thank you very much for that, Scott. Referral for James, you've done it already, done the deal for 6, so house insurance, mailing household. I've got a testimonial for James.
Luke or Lauren? Sorry, one household.
One of them. It's in progress. But just to say thank you to James, I was talking to him earlier. My personal indemnity, or PI insurance in my business is always a pain in the backside every year. Paul, all the professionals who know it. It's expensive, it's traumatic, it's a horrible time of year. James just deals with it. Take the fuss away, and all the people who contact me, I can just say, no, it's dealt with it, and knowing it is. Thanks very much.
Thanks for the 10 minutes, Mike. I need to get my pictures taken, so I think none of my team members are no longer with us.
How long ago was that?
It was last summer, wasn't it? Thanks for the Scott. Scott ran our website as well. I can't recommend this man enough, honestly. Scott's up to it. I've got a referral for Terry. Did you get a referral email? You did, probably. And I've got another referral for Terry. I've got a referral for Dave Roberts. I've got a social link up with James. Can't remember much of it, but it's brilliant. From what I can remember. And I got thanks for the money t-shirt. Cheers to it. Thanks all.
Yeah, that was a great 10 minutes. Really, really interesting. We should probably get our photos of Blake on our website with you and Scott as well. So I'll send you a referral for that.
Yeah, great presentation, Mark. I've worked with you a couple of times and you're really a pleasure to work with, and I look forward to working with you going forward because I think you've made my designs look even better.
So they're always fun projects.
Exactly. Yeah, Scott, built my website, and I'm really pleased with it, so thank you very much. And yeah, see you all next week.
Great meeting, excellent 10 minutes, Jane. Well done. Yeah. No, that was really good, Mike, really professional, and just seeing everything that goes into it. It's not just click and shoot. It's, yeah, no, really good. Yeah, I had a social one-to-one type thing with Scott and one with Ben. Does it qualify as the longest one-to-one ever? 11 hours, isn't it? And synergy meeting with Paul. Thanks for sorting that out. And just a thank you to to Georgia Beer James for trying to sort out a landlord policy. He ain't going to have to leave it till next year because basically nobody knows. We've got an absent landlord, so nobody knows who owns the building underneath my flat. So it's all a bit of fun. But hopefully she's sort it out next week. She put some time into it. Thanks for that.
I don't know what's anything to do with you. She's resigned.
So yeah, great meeting. Obviously, we need to get a date booked in for the videos and all the rest of it from our side. But yeah, no, it's great working with you and looking forward to doing that. I have hopefully got a surveyor coming in a couple of weeks' time. So that's kind of exciting. Somebody who I've worked with for quite a number of years who's kind of expanding their business out a little bit and quite interested in joining us. So hopefully another from the Bishop Stortford area coming this way. I know I want to kind of get a couple of one-to-ones in and kind of catch up with people, so hopefully we can get things sorted in a couple of weeks. So anyway, nice to see everyone and see you next week.
I was once taught how live is so important for everything that we do, and that was a brilliant demo just for me to show that, so thank you so much for that. Thank you for that, Oscar. I'm going to polish that, but that's going to be nice this week. And what else do I want to say? Scott, I just want to say thanks. I'm doing my homework. Scott did a quick run through my website for me a couple of weeks ago, gave me a little list of things that we could do, and I've done a few things over the last week or so, and I didn't get a chance to say this to you, but actually the traffic has come through our website has increased a tiny bit, this week. So we had a few extra orders, might be time of year, but anyhow, maybe not. So thank you everyone, and see you next week.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And sorry, was yours. I had no idea what social sharing was, Scott. I thought it was to do with sharing wine or crisps or something. So now I know what I need to share. Thanks very much.
It should be.
It should be that. Yeah, I'll do. That's right.
Thanks, Scott, for all the reminders in the beginning, and that you can get points for social sharing and stuff. That's really good to know. You, I think, won the 10 Minutes of the Year award, yes, and you made me again. That was really edutaining, but you always put on a good presentation. Thank you for that. Thank you. Joshua, apparently you didn't remember our one-to-one, darling. I thought it was marvellous.
Sorry, Dan.
Your 10 minutes will be a contender, no doubt, this year. If for no other reason than Jane was in it.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you all. Come on, pick a winner.
Who was that? From Josh to Paul. So just like that. Josh, yeah?
Great camera.
That's the white
cars. Free headshot.
Thank you very much. Mike, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for the presentation, thanks for doing the running. And the reason we do 60 seconds, and equally to a greater extent why we do it 10 minutes, is to get referrals. And the proof of the pudding, you got at least one referral from today. So the sign of a successful 10 minutes. I'm about to send you all on your way. Before I do, anybody got any announcements they want to make to the meeting of the year?
Just want to say the property synergy meeting's afterwards, and you're welcome to join.
Anybody else? Yes, Paul.
19th December, who hasn't let me know about the Christmas week, can I let me know? And I can get that booked up. I think we've got quite a few people coming away.
Have I let you know yet? Have I?
Right. No surprise then, mate.
Pretty sure I told you Friday night.
Clark.
Just a reminder of the quiz and talk for tonight for those who signed up. Should be a good night, and yeah, see some people later.
And whilst you're on surveyors, which is great to see, and we should bear that in mind, we should always be looking to introduce people to the meeting with the sphere in which we work. Talking about spheres in which you work, is there a licence converting in them?
Well, so there's a couple, but I think we've had a conversation before. A lot of mine tend to do wider remits of work, so I haven't got somebody that I've identified. But I know somebody who's recently moved firms, and I think she's moved to quite a small firm, so I'm hopefully going to catch up with her. So yeah.
Okay, have a word with Terry and I.
I will do.
But
yeah.
If you could, that would be great.
Yeah.
And everybody else, just the same, please. We'll trawl through your regular contacts, see if anybody might fit the bill. Right, there were 21 here today. Let's hope we have more next week. But make sure you all turn up next week. And I look forward to seeing you then.